I've spent a lot of time talking about all of the positive things that have come out of the 75 Hard Challenge. But there were a couple of things that were not so great. There were only two. There were two things that were not so great. I wanted to talk about them. And they have nothing to do with the challenge. These are not bad things about the challenge. These are really just things that kind of manifested themselves in my life that have been not so great. So the first thing is I feel like I've lost a lot of my empathy and compassion for people who are struggling. And this is not because I feel like I'm better than them, because I am still struggling. I'm still working at losing the weight. I'm still fighting my own battles. But as you go through this process, you kill your own excuses. You really have to deal with those. So when you hear people making excuses, sometimes my emotional connection was just turned off. It was difficult for me to relate. But it's important for me to, because people, if you've never been overweight, you really just don't understand how hard it is to make that decision, to go from eating what you want every day and doing what you want to do to actually eating right and working out every day. It is not easy. And if you've never been overweight, it's difficult to understand. So I never want to lose that compassion. I never want to get to the point to where I lose my empathy. One thing that I used to always say, and I'm trying to get back to, is always start with empathy. Try to see it from their side. Try to see it from their point of view. I've definitely made steps today to get back to that, because it was an ugly side of me that I really wasn't enjoying. And again, it wasn't judging them. It wasn't like I felt like I was better than them. It's just, as I'm working through getting rid of my excuses, it was difficult to hear excuses from other people, but I know what they're going through, and I want to make sure that I'm always a resource for them in that area. The second thing is, the challenge has definitely in some ways negatively impacted time with my family. It definitely takes a lot of time to do the particularly on phase one. You have a lot of tasks and things that you have to do, but also, with the diet, with the, eating right, there are things like Taco Tuesday. We used to have Taco Tuesday. We don't have that anymore because I'm on the challenge, and I'm finding ways to get back to that, because the reason why we don't have it is because I don't have the discipline. I don't have the discipline to be around tacos. But I'm finding that discipline. As a matter of fact, this Sunday, me and my daughter, we baked brownie bars. I think that's what they were, kind of like brownie bars. I was fine. I showed discipline, and I was not tempted to eat the brownie bars, and she was able to enjoy it. And I really was glad about that, because now my family didn't have to be restricted just because I didn't have the discipline. For those of you guys who are thinking about doing 75 hard, I think you should hear the good and the bad. And those are the two that really have stood out for me. Is, like I say, number one, don't lose your compassion. You will become one of the hardest people on the planet. You will become mentally tough, and you will push through and do things that you never thought you could do. But what you don't want to do is, when people come to you who are just beginning, who are just getting started, and they fail or they have excuses, you don't want to beat them down about it. And I just felt myself losing that compassion, and I don't want to lose that compassion, because it's important, because I know how hard it is. And the second thing is just the time with your family. Number one, the time that it takes, but then also, you don't want to restrict your family just because you're on a diet. And you have to. I know for me in the early stages, I absolutely had to. But if you can find ways to work it out and be able to do those things with your family that you've enjoyed and still stick to your diet, I feel like it's very, very important. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys today. Today is day 23. We have 7 more days. 7 more days and we're done. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.